Well, thank you all for joining today. Welcome. My name is Felicia Saracino. I'm the Director of Business Development here at the Arlington. And today I'm live with a purpose. Our education is going to be focusing on the real estate market and COVID and how that's working right now. And we have one of our real estate experts in town, David Ward. He's going to be joining us today to go over some much needed information. And he is with the Southwest, I want to make sure I get this right, Southwest Florida Real Estate Group, MVP Realty Associates. So I'm going to let David take it away from here. David, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you inviting us to do this. I'm not a big Zoom guy, but I'm learning as we go here, so you guys hopefully can be patient with me. No, Felicia and I have spoken multiple times, and she asked me to give a little bit of a presentation about what's happening right now with our market and COVID-19. A little background on us as a team and myself. We are Southwest Florida RE Group. We're the #1 team in Southwest Florida. We're #1, #2, somewhere in there in the state of Florida, and even ranked, nationally as one of the higher ranked teams in the nationally. We built this team here in the past 4 or 5 years. We're doing, 300. We work with about 300 buyers a year. We have typically between 40 and 50 live listings. So we're a big group of agents that we've all come together. We were all top agents in this industry, and have put together kind of a super team, if you will. What that affords us to do is be able to really focus in and dial in. And what we've been doing here recently, especially since COVID, has been hyper focused on the data that we're receiving, and we're looking at literally every week. We take in new data, we compare it to the previous weeks, we compare it to the previous year, where everything was this past year. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over here and share my screen with you guys to kind of go over some of that data. And hopefully this will really, we've been able to really see what's happening with this. Let me see if I can, again, I'm just learning how to do this.
Just go down to more, your menu on the bottom, and you'll see that share screen button.
Right.
You should be able to click on that and choose which screen you want to share.
One participant can share at a time, multiple share. Okay, let's see. You guys are not seeing it. Let me see. Okay, are you seeing my screen now? Or are you seeing me?
Not yet, just you.
Okay, let's go back and we'll get this figured out. I had it working a minute ago, but we'll get it going again. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Okay, now?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see the screen now. All right, outstanding. Let me make this larger. Okay. Now I can't see my full screen. How to make this full screen on here? Because all this is in the way. Let me move it. Okay. Okay, so everybody can see this now, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so again, this is a little bit about our team and what we do here in Southwest Florida. The next slide is our inventory, and let me move this over. Okay, so this is the home market since 2017. Okay, and you'll always see that here. This is January 1, 2017. You'll see the market spike during season and start dropping off later towards August, September, October timeframe. And then here it goes, starts building back up again. So that's a pretty common pretty common trend that we see in our market for the listings, the active listings that are currently on the market. When you get to 2020, you'll see that there was a major drop off. We saw the start going back up during season. Right here, if you can see this small red dot, that's where COVID hit. Okay, COVID hit right here, and we saw a huge drop in the number of listings. Matter of fact, we went back and compared this drop. This is the lowest number of listings we've had since 2015. Well, what does that mean? Okay. We also brought in and we looked at some researchers and development on how the market is starting to recover. On this market, it's showing that 9 out of 10 economists say that we have already that it's going to recover within this third quarter. That we're going to recover the market will recover within the third quarter. 22% believe it's already began, which is huge because we're seeing that on our end of things as well. There was a period of time where no one knew exactly if when the market was going to return and how strongly. And we're seeing with people coming into town, houses starting to sell, and I'm going to get to all that stuff, that the market is starting to return much sooner than we really anticipated. The next slide is 8 out of 10 believe it's going to be a V-shaped recovery. Now, what does a V-shaped recovery mean? It's kind of like what it sounds like. If you're looking at it on a graph, the V-shape means it was a sharp drop with a sharp rise. And most of those V-shaped are also considered a Nike swoosh, so a sharp drop with a more gradual increase. But one way or the other, the market is beginning to return. Okay, so this is our actual housing market here in Southwest Florida, and I'm going to point out some of these things. This was from May 1st until June 11th. This is what's happening in the market. The median price per square foot. Okay, and this is compared to the same weeks as last year. Okay, so you'll see on single family homes there was a slight uptick in the price per square foot from the same time last year. Nothing dramatic. But nonetheless, a little bit of an improvement. We have appreciated since last year, and all these numbers are going up. Okay, so on condos, it's gone up 1 full %, and then on the median price homes, that's going to be your villas and townhomes, it's already gone up 5.4% since this time last year. And if anybody has any questions during this, by all means, please speak and ask, and I'll try to answer those questions more specifically for you. Okay, so this one is on median close price and number of closed sales. Okay, so median close price, single family homes, is up 2.2%. For condos, it's down 0.6%. Now, so we have list price and we have closed price. And then on the villas and townhomes, it's up almost 2%. So condos took a little bit of a loss over this past year in the median's close price, but that's the lower end of the scale, whereas single family homes in the median price range have actually gone up a little bit. Now, this is a really important number here, okay? Median closed sales since this time last year for this exact same period, we're down 63%. Okay, and again, these numbers are going to make more sense as we go on. On condos, we're down 96% on closed sales, and on the number of closed sales for townhomes and villas. And can everybody see my arrow? Felicia?
Yes.
Felicia, can you see the arrow?
Yeah.
Okay, so just that way I know if people are being able to follow along. Down 76%. Okay, average days on the market this is really an impressive stat that shows a lot about the where our market is. Average days on market has gone down. Okay, so on, again, single family homes, this green column, condos, the blue column, and townhomes and villas is the orange column. So the days on the market has started to drop significantly. Why is that? Okay, it's because of this first screen. Okay, because the number of listings have gone down, the days on the market has also gone down. The prices are still, the prices are still coming up. Okay, so the prices are still on the rise. The number of days on the market is going down. So that means the houses are selling for a little bit more money in less time. Failed listings. These are up, not as significantly as we thought they might be, because the reason listings fail is most likely they lasted either on the market and terminated or were withdrawn. But what we saw a lot of people do, because they were unsure of the market, we saw people take their homes off listings, not sure either A, where they're going to go, where they would be able to buy. And a lot of people just didn't want people in their homes during COVID. So that's why you see an increase in failed listings. What does that mean for you guys as potential homeowners or people that might be interested in listing their home and things like that? Again, with the inventory as low as it is currently, there's a little bit more competition for those houses. So they are starting to increase the price. Now, what's going to happen is as people become more confident with the market and with listing, you're going to see the number of inventory rise. And when the number of inventory rises, you will start seeing the closing price that will start plateauing. It won't be going up anymore. As well as list price. So right now, honestly, is probably a pretty good, if you're thinking of selling your home, just looking at the data, it's probably a pretty decent time to start considering that, because there's going to be less competition and buyers are starting to come back in. So that means the more buyers you have coming in, the less competition, typically the more you're going to get for your home. Does that make sense to everybody? And let's see if I can see you guys. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Any questions on that? Okay. Let's see. Sorry, just going over my notes here. When you are seeing, let me go back to this clip right here. Like I said, when we go back, and if I could, I don't have the graph that shows it, but if we go back to 2015, it's the lowest inventory that we've seen since that period. Which, if you remember 2015, that's when homes started going up at a much more dramatic pace. That's when we really started seeing, during 2015, I think homes went up an average of, it was like 12% over that year, which since then we've been seeing, well, in 17, 18, 19, we've been seeing about a 3% rise in median home cost. But during 14, 15, 16, we were coming up at about 12, 13% annually. So as long as the inventory is staying low, we were going to continue to see home prices and sell prices rising. Felicia, do you have any questions for me on this information thus far?
So I have a question from one of our watchers on Facebook asking, are there certain areas of Naples that are selling faster than others. You know, we're located more in South Naples by the Lely Resort,
Mhm.
and I'm sure that market is that different than, you know, mid-range of Naples or North Naples.
Well, the data, the data that we have collected is primarily all of Naples. Now, that area, the new construction is probably what's been selling the fastest currently. The inventory in new construction though has been completely decimated. You cannot find an inventory home in new construction anymore. So if people want to move in immediately and they don't want to build, it's turning now because all the new construction inventory was sucked up, and there's a lot of new construction down in that southern part of Naples with Naples Reserve and Winding Cypress and those communities, Artesia, Fiddler's Creek. All those communities are starting to kind of, wrap things up a little bit, but they did have a large number of inventory homes. Those inventory homes are gone, and now we're starting to see even down there, North Naples, and pretty much across the board. The market is becoming hotter. So in that Lely area, yeah, I mean, we're still seeing homes move, faster at a faster percentage than they were. The days on market is still very solid, even in that market as well.
That's great. That's great news. What about virtual tours and open houses? Do you see a lot more of that happening now because of COVID? And how does that work?
That was really the primary way we were showing property here the past couple months. But now we're starting to get more people flying in to look. We're starting to do more person-to-person showings. It really is almost almost back to normal with as far as our showings go. I mean, sometimes I do suggest that if you're going to show property, that clients and everybody have masks. That's something that is requested generally. A lot of homeowners that are selling their homes will put masks and gloves and stuff like that at the door. Not a bad idea. But we're seeing some of that more so than the virtual showings now. That lasted for a good little bit during the height of the pandemic, but we're starting to see that dissipate and more people doing in-person showings again.
And if someone was going to list their home, because they're thinking about retiring and getting ready to take that next step within their phase of life, what recommendations can you make for them to getting their home prepped and making sure that they're ready to put it on the market during this kind of pandemic? Because we're not sure where it's going right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, everything is pointing to the market coming back more solidly than we had initially anticipated. We were thinking when we went into this, by looking at the data, we were thinking that we were going to have a minimum of a 1-year recovery time. The data is not showing that at this point. The data is showing that we are already in the beginning phases of a recovery, and expect the primary part of that recovery to take place in the third or the fourth quarter, which is we're getting ready to roll into the fourth quarter here. Listing your home now is quite honestly probably as good a time as any, because the values are going up and because the competition is less. If we allow enough time to pass, that more people start gaining confidence, you're going to see the housing market flooded with listings. And like I said, when that happens, whenever you have a surplus in inventory, you'll start seeing home prices drop. But we're going to see a little bit of that. We're going to go through this little roller coaster over the next year of rise and fall, and then we think things are going to level out within the next year. But level out means back to our average 3% gains a year, which is, as you can see in the past month, we had a 2% gain on single family homes. So that's fairly significant. For prepping your home, um, it really goes, it's a home by home basis. What I have up here on the screen right now is what's next. If you are interested in listing your home, then myself and my associates would be more than happy to come by and give what we call free market analysis or a value estimate of your home. In which case we would come home by individually and look at your home and say, all right, hey, here's what you need to do to have your home show ready, picture ready, so forth and so on. Because every home is different. And some people will walk in and say, you need to do absolutely nothing. And there's other people that say, hey, you might want to, get rid of personal photos or declutter, or maybe if there's certain things that are wrong, old outdated appliances or something like that. What we never want a client to do is spend money on money they can't get back. So if we recommend, hey, you might want to paint, we want to make sure that if it costs them $1,000 to paint, 2 rooms, 3 rooms in the interior, that they're going to get that money back out of it by doing it. Never would we suggest spending money to increase your price if you're not going to get that much money back out of it. So a lot of times we ask people not to do very much, with the exception of declutter or just have the home picture ready or show ready. But there's certain situations where you say, hey, you know what, if you do this, this, and this. For example, I just took a condo on Fort Myers Beach, and the lady said, well, hey, if I do anything to it, can I increase my value? And basically what we did is she put in $25,000 and put some new floorings and new countertops and some things like that in the home, and it increased the value of her home by over $60,000. So she made an additional $40,000 by spending, or let's see, $30,000 by spending $25,000. So in those type of situations, yes, there is ways that you can do that, but the numbers have to make sense.
Absolutely, that does make sense. Thank you for that. That's important. Does anyone have any questions? You can always shoot me a message in the chat box. Oh, I have some here. Sorry.
One thing I will say is, if you're reading the screen right now, we're more than happy to come by and give you a free market analysis of your home. We'll take 30 minutes of your time. We'll look over your home, let you know what we think the current market value is of your home, how long we think potentially it could be on the market, things like that. And down below here, we'll either contribute so for listings up to 250,000, we'll contribute back either to you or to the charity of your choice $500. For listings of up to 500,000, so between 250 and 500, we'll contribute 1,000 either back to you or to the charity of your choice. And anything over 500,000, we'll contribute $1,500. And this is my contact information. If any of you'd like to reach out to me, my website down here is it's a home search. So I don't know many of you that are going to be looking at properties, but if you want to compare in your neighborhood and be able to easily compare, we can even put your individual neighborhood or even narrow it down to a street on which you want to see the home prices, what's selling in your community. This is my personal email. It's not my business email, but it's much easier to remember than my personal or my business email. And this is my phone number. So if anybody has any questions, or if you want, like I said, we do a market update every single week that shows what the market is doing. And if you want access to that, you can email me or call me, and we can put you on that list to receive that weekly market update.
Okay, great. I do have a question from the audience.
Okay.
And their question is, how do you feel the economy will play out in the real estate market with COVID? as it kind of ebbs and flows over the next year or so.
Yeah, let me see if I can stop sharing the screen. There we go. Okay, so now do you have me again, or?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So the market is the market is on the rise. The home prices are on the rise. The inventory is way down. Like I said, the lowest it's been since 2015. Where we see that going is it's going to home prices are going to continue to rise until people start listing, until more listings start hitting the market. So as soon as people are comfortable listing their homes, and that the inventory increase, we're going to still see home prices increase. Once inventory increases, we're going to see that start to plateau. So the home prices will stop going up as quickly as they have the past month and a half.
Okay, great. And so I know that we had a couple other questions, but I believe they've gotten answered within your presentation. I'm just checking online because I have our accounts on Facebook going too. Does anyone have any additional questions before we end? You can always feel free to contact David, which he put up all his information, but I'll have you go over that again once more if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, David Ward, I'm with Southwest Florida RE Group. My phone number is 239-860-0238. Again, it's 239-860-0238. And my email is Team Beachfront. So like an athletic team, TEAM Beachfront, BEACHFRONT @gmail.com. And literally email me, text me, call me. I'm available on all those, and look forward to giving any advice that you have, and just being of service.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge, David, today. That was fantastic. And this video will be available for anyone to go back through and check out those slides, because I know it had a lot of great data on it. But then you can also share it with a loved one or your friend, because I know a lot of folks are looking to sell their homes right now, but they're a little bit cautious because of what's happening with COVID. So it might be a good time to get that competitive analysis done so you can kind of gauge what's the best time for you, and if your home is ready to sell. Because you gave a lot of great suggestions too for folks to do a few updates to their home if they need them or if they don't.
Absolutely. No, it's been my pleasure, and look forward to hearing from anyone. So, and then I see D. Nesling, thank you for the thank you. I saw that. I appreciate it.
Well, wonderful news. So if anyone is interested in finding out any additional information about the Arlington, you can always give us a call. We're here, and we offer independent living with freestanding homes, assisted living, memory care, and we have a 5-star skilled nursing facility here too on campus. Our direct line is 239-307-3100. You can always feel free to email me at felicia.saraceno@bluelife.com, which I'll have that on the information for you too after this event, and we'll make sure to post that up for everybody. But for new information and educational events, we will be hosting about 2 to 3 events a month on our virtual event. You can find out information on our Facebook page, which is Oakton Place at Arlington. And we always are looking forward to having some new speakers coming on board. I know for the rest of this month, on the 25th, we have long-term care strategies for folks for long-term care insurance. And then on July 1st, we are getting a sneak peek behind the scene tour of Physicians Regional. They have an older adult ER, and we're going to be exploring that with someone who works in the emergency room there, which is really important for folks around here to understand and know. And then from that, we have some caregiver tips, and then we'll just keep going with some really interesting events. If you have an idea or like to see an event, also please feel free to reach out to me. But thank you so much for joining us today. Everyone have a wonderful day. And thank you, David, for sharing all your information.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, thank you. Have a wonderful day, everybody.